Have you ever wondered how some super complex AI, the kind that writes stories or creates amazing art, gets from a developer's screen into an app that millions of people can use? Well, it's not just about the code. It's about giving that code a friendly face. And today, we're diving into the tool that makes all of that possible.
Right, so we hear about these incredible AI breakthroughs all the time. But there's this huge gap, isn't there? You've got this amazingly powerful model on one side, and then you've got the rest of us on the other. So how do you actually build a bridge between the two?
At the heart of it, this is what you could call AI's user interface problem. It's this big challenge that, honestly, keeps some of the coolest technology locked away from people who could actually use it. Think about it like this. Imagine a brilliant, powerful new car engine just sitting on a workbench. It's a masterpiece of engineering, but it's totally useless without a car built around it. Well, that's often what a raw AI model is like. It lives in a developer's terminal, a world of blinking cursors and text commands that just doesn't make sense to most of us. But what if you could build that car, that user-friendly application, in just a few minutes, with only a couple of lines of code? Well, let me introduce you to the solution, a tool called Gradio.
So what is Gradio? At its core, it's a Python library, a powerful toolkit for coders. And it's designed to do one thing, and do it incredibly well. Let developers wrap a clean, interactive web app around their AI model, all without having to be a web developer. It is literally the bridge we've been looking for. To really see how simple this is, let's start with something that has nothing to do with AI at all. Let's just add two numbers together. A developer writes a tiny Python function that takes a number A and a number B and returns their sum. That's it. That's the entire logic. Now, watch what Gradio does with that. And boom, here's the magic. With just 3 lines of Gradio code wrapping that function, it automatically generates this entire web application. You get input boxes, a submit button, an output field, the whole thing. It's clean, it's functional, and it's ready to go, instantly. Okay, that seems almost too easy, right? So how does it actually work under the hood? Let's break down the basic building blocks. It really just boils down to 4 key ideas. First, you have your function. That's the brain of the operation, whether it's a huge AI model or our simple number adder. Then you define the components, the text boxes, sliders, or image uploads the user will play with. The interface is the glue that connects your function to those components. And finally, you launch it, which starts up the web server and brings your app to life. Now, Gradio actually gives you 2 ways to build. The interface method is what we just saw. It's super fast, it automatically handles the layout for you, and it's absolutely perfect for quick demos. But for more complex apps, you can use something called blocks, which gives you total, fine-grained control over the layout and exactly how things interact. For instance, with blocks, you get to build the UI piece by piece, like Legos. You can say, I want a text box here and a button right there. And then you can get really specific, telling the app, hey, when this specific button gets clicked, then and only then do you run this specific function. It gives you the power to design a much more custom experience for your users. All right, adding numbers is pretty neat, but let's be real. We're here for the AI. So let's move on and see how this simple framework handles some seriously powerful models. We're going to take a quick look at 3 different examples here, and this is going to cover the whole spectrum, from the cutting-edge large language models you're always hearing about, all the way to the classic machine learning models that quietly power so many apps we use every day. First up, a text summarizer. This one is powered by OpenAI's GPT model. A user can just paste a long article into the box on the left, hit submit, and boom, they get a nice, concise summary on the right. Just like that, a couple of lines of Gradio code have created a genuinely useful tool. Next, check out this sentiment analyzer. What's cool about this one is that it pulls a model directly from the Hugging Face Hub, which is this huge online library of open source AI. You just type in a sentence, and the model tells you if the sentiment is positive or negative from 1 to 5 stars. It really shows how plugged in Gradio is to the whole AI ecosystem. And this last example really shows off how flexible Gradio is. See, it's not just for fancy language models. This is a classic machine learning model built with a library called scikit-learn that predicts house prices in California. And I love this. The developer used sliders for the inputs, like number of rooms and age of the house. It just makes a complex data model feel totally intuitive and interactive. So you've built this amazing interactive AI demo on your own computer. Awesome. But the whole point is to share it with people, right? So how do you get it from your machine out into the world? Honestly, it's almost ridiculously simple. You just save your Python script and then create a little text file that lists any special libraries you used. Then you just hop over to a site called Hugging Face Spaces, click Create a New Project, and upload those two files. And that's really it. Hugging Face automatically reads your files, installs everything it needs, and runs your app for you. So in just a matter of minutes, the code that was sitting on your laptop is now a live web application with a public link that you can share with anyone on the planet. This all brings us to the real takeaway here. The AI revolution isn't just about building bigger and more powerful models. It's about making that power usable. It's about accessibility. Tools like Gradio are a huge part of that because they empower creators to stop thinking about just building a model and start thinking about building a complete interactive experience that anyone can try out. This really does change the game. When any developer, any researcher, or even any artist can put a friendly face on their work and share it with the world instantly, well, that just opens the door for a whole wave of creativity and new ideas that we probably can't even predict right now. It leaves us with a really exciting question. Now that anyone can give their AI a voice, what new ideas are we about to hear?